Welcome to the Robin's Nest. Big story I want to get into today regarding WRC, so let's get into it. Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Thanks for watching again. Like I said, I wanted to talk about something with WRC. Some big news broke today. Well, at least I think it's pretty big, and that is that there's no news. There is no news. Nothing significant's been happening with WRC. The biggest thing recently is Adrian Formo being signed to formally. Being signed to Hyundai, for next season. Outside of that, there's really not been much. There's been some reshuffling with management and stuff like that with Hyundai, but there's really not been anything massive, which leads me to a point, and I've made this point before, but I want to make it again because it's insane to me that the highest category in WRC 1, whatever you want to call it, the fact that there are only 3 manufacturers is a massive problem. And it has been for years. Since Citroen left, and you have Ford, Toyota, and Hyundai. That's not, to me, that's not a competition level that really says much. You know, Hyundai and Toyota are most likely even kill on budget and factory support, but Ford gets crumbs in comparison to what Hyundai and Toyota have as far as factory support. So it's really a Hyundai and Toyota championship with 4 cars apiece at the most. That's if they run 4 cars every rally, and that's not a given. So, but let's just say at best, you really have 8 cars running against one another. Nothing against Adrian Formo. I think he's going to do good with Hyundai, but with Ford, I mean, realistically, the only time he podiumed was when everyone in front of him had issues. That's nothing against him. From where he was when he started in WRC to where he is now is night and day difference. To have no doubt that he can get in Hyundai and perform. But there's only. It's just like I said. It's a 2-make championship, and I don't know what the plan is to fix that. The FIA keeps coming out and they keep saying, "Well, we're talking to different manufacturers. We're talking to these people. We're talking to those people. Blah 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 blah." Keep getting the same old runaround and nothing changes. They incorporated hybrid units a year or 2 ago. In this push that everyone's getting into with motorsports to become more green, more environment friendly, and I have no problem with that. I just don't think hybrids are the way to go. And now they're talking about, well, they're not talking about, they're going to do away with the hybrid units in the Rally 1 cars. And it's a cost saving measure because, like I've said before, when you incorporate something like a hybrid unit into motorsport, there's research and development, there's practical application, putting it on the car. You can test something, but then when you put it in race conditions, it's totally different than being on a test track somewhere. Totally different. But the research and development cost it's got to be astronomical. I don't know what the figure is, but you'd have to guess that it's some astronomical figure. And, I think ditching them is the way to go, but I don't think hybrid units ever should have been brought in the first place. If you want to go green, if that's what we're pushing towards, there's different fuels and things of that nature that you can use that can accomplish that. You don't need a hybrid unit. And I apply that for all of motorsports. I don't think hybrid unit gives you a little boost of energy, a little extra HP here and there, and maybe cleans up the emissions a little bit, but I just don't think that the trade-off is worth the juice is not worth the squeeze, so to speak. But you look at WRC2, and you have Skoda, Citroen, every once in a while Hyundai, Ford, Toyota, up until a couple of years ago, VW. And why are those manufacturers spending the money? Skoda. Skoda's been asked several times, like, why don't y'all move up to WRC1? And their response is always, well, we're happy with where we're at. You know, we're successful in WRC2, and they are. They whip everybody all the time. But the point being, if the cost was manageable in WRC1, you'd have to assume that someone like a mark like Skoda would make that jump. You know, they've done it before back in the 2000s with the Octavia, the tank, Czech tank. I don't know who made that video, but someone did on YouTube. But it's true. That thing was massive. A 4-door sedan while everyone else was downsizing to hatchbacks. And we wonder why it didn't win anything. The thing was a hoss. But the point is it would be foolish to not move up to Rally 1 but it's got to make sense, okay? And I said this the other day, and I'll say it again. I think what needs to happen is the regulations in Rally 1 need to come down to almost like a WRC2 level. Yeah, really, truthfully, get rid of WRC2. Just make them all one. But bring the regs down in WRC1 where it makes sense. Right now it doesn't. That's why you've got 3 manufacturers. You know, another reason why Ford won't go all in with them sport. And you got to have a future. And having three manufacturers is not a viable future. Not only that, add into the fact that Hyundai is kicking around the idea of pulling out after 25. Then you're going to have a Ford and Toyota championship. You're going to have a full factory works team with Toyota and a partial factory works team with Ford. So it's going to be a Toyota championship, essentially. Unless you can con someone like OGA or Loeb to come out of retirement, OGA to leave Toyota and go to Ford, which I just don't see that happening. You know, no one else has shown to be able to carry those cars to the front. Yeah, it's just a fact, unfortunately. But because I'd love to see Ford. The Puma is awesome. I know Loeb won a rally a couple years ago in the Puma, but outside of that, it's not really been super successful. And I'd love to see it. Maybe Oliver. Yeah, I've said Oliver should go to Ford several times. I know there's a branding issue with Monster and Red Bull. You know, and I was kind of leaning maybe they could work it out one way or another. But now he's running a Toyota next year. I don't know if that means that he's in line to move up to Toyota after 25. I don't know. We'll see. But I'd like to see him in a Puma. I think Oliver is he's the next Kaylee Rovanpera. You know, Kaylee's smoking everybody. I was talking to my wife this morning about Kaylee, and I love the fact that the guy comes in, he wins back-to-back championships, and then he takes half the year off this year, this 24, because he wants to run other forms of racing. And I watched his first circuit race in sports cars. I think he was driving a Porsche, if I remember correctly. No, I don't. Don't quote me on that. But what I do remember is that he ran up front, I think top 5 the entire race. I think he finished 4th, 5th, something like that, in his first pavement race. That's impressive. So often you see guys go from Formula 1 to WRC and they're awful, or they're mediocre. Maybe awful's too harsh. They're middle of the road. Look at Kimi Räikkönen, one of the best race car drivers to ever strap in. Hands down. You know, I don't argue that. But in rally, he was kind of so-so. Kind of an also-ran. you know. And that's not a dig at him. I love Kimi Räikkönen. Love that guy. He's awesome. His attitude is on point, man. That's how a lot of guys back in the day from like the boomer and pre-boomer generations, that's how they would act, is the way Kimi is, you know, on the radio telling the engineers to shut up, I know what I'm doing, stop talking to me, that kind of stuff. Really cool. But I guess really the point I'm trying to get at is WRC needs to make some serious, they need to look in the mirror, make some serious changes if it's going to be around long term. Ignore that. But you know, if they don't do that, then it's not going to. And I guess another thing I want to know, and this is slightly off topic, but not really. How many people in southeastern United States are WRC fans? That's what I want to know, because I've watched WRC since I was a kid. Okay, I live in Alabama, and I've watched since I was a kid. 35 years on this planet, I don't think I've ever met another person in person who likes WRC, who's ever watched it, who even knows what it is. I don't think I've ever met another person. And I just find it hard to believe that, I know there's no rallies in America, no WRC rallies in America. I understand that, but I still find it hard to believe that there's no one out there in this neck of the woods that watches it. I may be wrong, maybe there isn't anybody, but it'd be nice to know. If you're watching this and you're from this neck of the woods, the Gulf Coast, Southeast, leave a comment, let me know. I would like to know that I'm not the only crazy person in the United States that likes a predominantly European racing category. You know, you don't live over there. It's almost like in America college football. In order to be a fan of a certain team, per the fan bases, you either have to live in the state that the college is in, or you have to have gone to the college at some point. If those two things aren't applicable, people look at you crazy if you say that you pull for a specific football team. Case in point, I'm a massive Northwestern football fan. I don't think I've ever been to Illinois in my life. But it's a similar thing, I would imagine, with European motorsports and Americans. But just want to know. I'm genuinely curious. I know we've got some rally stuff here. You know, they have a pretty big rally up in Tennessee, stuff like that. But specifically WRC, I'm curious. I want to know. Outside of that, just my thoughts on the trajectory of not Formula One, WRC, the way that it's going. I'm cautiously optimistic that it'll turn around. But this is the thing, a lot of Formula One fans gripe about the FIA president, Ben. I can't pronounce his last name. And as far as everything that they're doing with Formula One, I don't really have a problem. I'm not on that bandwagon of bashing them over that. I am, though, when it comes to WRC, because I think it's being mismanaged. And we need to turn it around somehow, some shape, form, or fashion. So anyways, yeah, I just want to see something done before it doesn't exist, before it's gone for good. And then we have to wait for something else to take its place. I just hope we don't ever have to cross that bridge. So anyways, I appreciate you watching. If you like this, don't forget to like, subscribe, leave a comment, share the video, all that fun stuff. Turn on notifications so you don't miss any of our upcoming videos. We uploaded one, I think either this morning or last night, about 2000 WRC season. So make sure to go back and watch that one. If you're interested in diecast cars, t-shirts, hats, any racing related memorabilia, just put it that way, check out our Macari and eBay stores. I'll put the links in the description. If you find anything you're interested in, shoot me an offer. Nothing's set in stone. I like I've said before, you know, a lot of that stuff we're just trying to get rid of because we've had it for a long time, and we've outgrown our warehouse, if that's what you want to call it. So need some of the stuff gone. So shoot me an offer, and we'll go from there. Thanks for watching. Like I said, like, subscribe, leave a comment, and don't forget to turn on notifications. That's the important one. So when we upload all these videos, you'll know right off the top. You need to get over there and watch it. So I appreciate it. As always, you guys are awesome. Thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time. Peace.
És 100 fölfele. 100 fölfele, jobb 2 tempó, 20-ra bal 2 tempó, 25-ra bal 2 tempó, 25-re bal 2 szűk, bal 2 szűk, és bal 2, és bal 2, majd 50-re jobb 2, itt a bal 2, és 50-re jobb 2, a jobb 2, majd szűk 50-re jobb 3 az aszfaltra, szűk 50-re jobb 3 az aszfaltra.